We will begin the press conference by Foreign Minister Hayashi. The floor is yours, Minister. I have nothing to mention at the outset. Then, let us go to the Q&A. Please raise your hand if you have questions. Please identify yourself, your affiliation, and proceed to the nearest microphone. Abe-san, Yomiuri. Abe of Yomiuri. Shimane Prefecture, Takeshima Islands, within the Japan's EEZ, ROK's survey vessel, maritime survey vessel, despite Japan lodging protest, conducted maritime survey. ROK has seen the inauguration of the new government, and there are expectations of the improvement of bilateral relationship, but this will be a negative impact. What is your take on this matter? From evening of the 28th towards the 30th, the Japan Coast Guard vessel on patrol confirmed within Japan's EEZ north of Takeshima, Heian 2000 of the Korea Hydrographic and Oceanographic Agency trailing what seemed like a cable and navigating in the waters. And upon receiving such confirmation, we lodged a strong protest to South Korea that we cannot accept maritime scientific survey without prior consent within Japan's EEZ and demanded immediate cessation. The government, under the strong resolve to protect Japan's territorial land, water, and airspace, will continue to respond appropriately based upon international law and relevant domestic laws.
Next question, please. Matsuura-san, please. I am Matsuura from Kyoto. As a follow-up question, the maritime survey vessel action of Korea is an action that hinders the trust relationship between Japan and Korea. You have expressed the intention, your minister, that you would like to visit and have a meeting in Korea. Will these incident in the sea surrounding Takeshima, will it affect your position? Based on the collection of information and correspondence locally, Japanese government has taken responses. As for the responses going forward, as I've just stated, we have firm determination to protect Japanese territorial land, sea, and sky. And based on that determination, appropriate responses will be taken.
Next question, Mr. Asuhari.
Asuhari, Panoramic News, Arab News Japan. Japan has received a very favorable impression by the Middle East people in MOVA survey, Foreign Affairs survey, announced last week. What was the reason for making that survey and timing of it? And how could that survey be translated into more investment, economic, technical cooperation, and tourism with that part of the world? When we see that the Foreign Ministry is warning Japanese people and companies against traveling to most Middle East and Arab countries based on what some call as a stereotype image of danger zone there. Thank
you. Regarding the overseas travel safety information or the opinion poll on Japan, we conduct the opinion poll on Japan every year in order to seek a better image, general image of Japan in overseas and to deepen an understanding on diplomatic policies. And for the fiscal year 2021, the survey was conducted between December 2021 and February 2022. Now, including the opinion poll on Japan or including the Middle Eastern regions, you talked about the overseas travel advice, and this is being issued based upon the general situation of the locality and conducting the survey within limited budgets. Our objective is to decelerate tension within the region and to continue proactive diplomacy in the region. And we hope that these initiatives will lead to enhanced relationship between our nation and Middle East, North African nations in the areas of investment, economy, tourism, and technological cooperation. Next question.
From Japan Times, please.
お願いいたします。
Both from Japan Times. Australian Prime Minister Albanese's administration, with respect to South Pacific Island region, is deepening its engagement and is expressing its intention towards that end. And to increase our presence, does Japan have similar plans to increase its presence in South Pacific region? If so, could you explain that plan? Does that plan include climate change policies? For over 20 years, Japan has carried out PALM, and centering around that process with Pacific Island nations with which we enjoy long-term friendly relations, have engaged in cooperative relations to deepen relations with these countries further. At the 9th PALM Summit last year, including climate change, 5 emphasis areas were identified as urgent issues, and a joint action plan was compiled, summarizing efforts to be made by Japan and Pacific Island nations, and these actions are steadily underway. I visited Fiji and Palau and had a useful exchange of views on these matters. Regarding climate change issue, Pacific Island nations are saying that the climate change is the single biggest threat. And this is an especially important area in cooperation with Pacific Island nations, focusing on adaptation and alleviation and towards achievement of the objectives under the Paris Agreement. Japan would like to take a leading role and would like to make contribution together with like-minded countries. And at the same time, would also like to contribute to development of strong infrastructure to fend off the disaster. In Kiribati, there is a plan to establish Japanese embassy as a new embassy in the fiscal 2022 budget. In Pacific, we would like to strongly promote a Kizuna policy and strengthen cooperation with Pacific Island nations. This is time we would like to conclude the press conference. Thank you very much.